ladies and gentlemen of Twitch and YouTube and Internet land. I hope you all are doing well out there. You may have been with me earlier this afternoon whenever we were going over how to create a skill to ingest a roster update so that we could get an accurate roster metadata update going. Solid squirrel. Into our metadata file so that whenever we ask questions of it, we are asking it of the most recent set of data that we can give it access to. So whenever we did that process, we ended up creating what's called a skill. If you want to learn about what that is and how to make one, you can go check out the previous video in this series. This is part 2. Real quick, a skill is just a containerized set of instructions that can be used in a repeatable manner so that we don't have to type the same prompt every time we want to do a roster update. Okay, so our goal for this session is to test and verify that skill, and in the end have the result be an updated roster. So bear with me. Let me get my admin console session set up. 1 second, or 7 seconds, or a bunch more seconds. Okay, so here's what's going on. Let's go take a look at our project. Somewhere you would be here for me. Okay, you. Let's go now. Okay, so is that the most recent? Is that the most recent? Yes, it is. Okay, so we decided to run a test, right? Okay, there's a few things I need to get you up to speed with, right? Whenever we ended that video, I was going to add the skill to my profile, right? So that the project could use it and then we would update our roster. Well, I had to take a break, and whenever I went to start doing the update to install, quote-unquote, the skill, I quickly found that there was no such option on the app for the iPad version of ChatGPT that I'm using, and figured out that in order to install a skill, you have to do it on a web browser. So I have some screenshots of how I did that. I'm going to post them along with the video whenever I put that out later this afternoon, if you're curious about how to do this yourself. All right. Now we did that, and then I came here and I said, hey, I just added the skill, and it's like, cool, let's check it out, but hey, I can't really see what you added. So as I said, we are learning this as we go, right? And what this is telling me is I added it at the profile level, my ChatGPT account level, and this project is apparently unable to see the skills that are at the level above it. So it said, hey, I don't see what you're talking about, but you could upload the skill directly to me. And we generated this zip file in the last episode. That's why I have a copy of it. So I said, cool, there's the file, and it tested for intake and gave a validated one, but it still doesn't have it automatically exposed through the live skill registry. So what that means is we're going to use it, but we're just going to have to use it in a limited fashion for now, and we'll do another episode where we fix this particular issue. The end result is going to be the same, but the way we invoke it will be a little bit different. And so eventually there will be a part 3 of this video that shows how to do that, you know. So let's see here. What we want to say is, let's add these pictures that we took. Let me go clean up. I think there's one duplicate. Right. Yeah. So trash this one. Good deal. Let's get back to Epic Saving. Oh no, wait, I want to be playing, but I'm doing this, and I want to be doing this too. So I had to choose, and this is what I chose. So thank you for choosing to hang out with me. Anyway, let's keep moving on along, and add the screenshots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Attached is the latest roster inventory from my game client. We will use this test, this test to validate the skill and have it result in a master update if I approve. So let's see what it does. Ultimately, all we want it to do right now is just start crunching. We want to make sure it's able to actually start executing. Once it starts executing, we could fire up the game client and, piddle around while we wait for it to finish crunching. So it's reading the skill. So it's okay, it's building a table for the reconciliation. The output appears truncated, huh? Wonder what it meant by that, or why it thinks that's the case. So one thing we're going to want to make sure to verify, right, is that, okay, so it's inspecting, and it looks like it's doing its thing. We just need to make sure that we at least end up with 120 characters, right? That's going to be the first check we do. Now, recall, as I was saying earlier, I didn't actually clean up my inventory before taking the screenshots. I would advise doing that. Otherwise, you end up with a bunch of rows that you're just going to end up having to delete. Unless you want to keep a bunch of, like level 5 copies of characters, if that's how you do your thing, then you do you, no judgment. Let's go see what it's talking about over here. Alright, it's still doing its thing. Let's go see what we have. We need to clear some flags. Oh no. So, let's see what we can do. Let's put some clothes on the ladies. I don't even know if I have a defense team set on this account. Again, this is my alt account. I've certainly been having fun with it. I've had some great pulls on it, but it is definitely limited in a number of ways. And if you are new to my channel, I'm very fluid when it comes to gear. You don't see me keeping gear attached to any characters. I'm constantly gearing and re-gearing my characters, which has a few different effects, right? It means I spend a metric F-ton of time in this screen. Oh, not this screen, but in this screen. But two, it means I can effectively run 30 characters instead of a core of 10 characters, right? there are two other like downsides to that I've identified. Number one is I can't keep a defensive team geared up, so you'll see me drop ranks like that. Number two, since you don't keep characters geared up, people are less likely to choose your characters in friendship selections, so you end up with less friendship points. So if you decide to, manage your gear in this manner, just be aware of those potential pitfalls. Man, I have some energy I need to burn through, which honestly, given my plan for maximizing the buff rewards that we're about to be wrapping up, I think I'm just going to keep sitting on my energy and use that in addition to the 200 something leaves, and just do otherworldly after otherworldly after otherworldly after otherworldly after otherworldly. And I don't know how many times I can say it, but like I'm gonna do all of, because right now you're getting the 20% buff on otherworldly drops. So I'm waiting until I've gotten the maximum amount of free leaves, and I'm just gonna burn through like as much as I want. With the buffs ending in about 3 days now, it's probably about time for me to start doing that. So I'll probably do some of that farming tonight. But anyway, let's go check on our GPTP. It's still doing its thing. What you gonna do? Oh, look at that, 120 visible characters. That's what we want to see, folks. So back to Salome. If you look at her kid, I'm not sure how you all gear your characters, but, you want to be familiar with what your characters need. So, so scales with max health. And you want her to be fast because of her S2. You want her going off the jump, but, so you want her to have some effectiveness, and again, max health. So if we go tune her, so we want some max health. We want her to stay alive if she can. We want her as fast as we can get her. And we want her on some crit, right? And we want her effective. So we're greedy. Let's see what we can bring her up to. That's ugly. Let's back some of this off. Nope. Let's back some of this off. Okay, there we start to look a bit more respectable. But then you can't wear your sister's clothes. Almost. Oh my god, really? That was horrible. Shit. Okay. There we go, that might do it. That's good enough. And what's she running? So Harsetti's crazy. So like I was talking about speed, like this is just like a silly group, right? Like Harsetti has this effect on her S2 where speed is fixed based on her speed. So the highest anyone can be is 90% of her speed. So it's weird, like how that warps the game, and you'll just see just a lot of crazy effects how that plays out. But we want some effectiveness on her, and she scales on max health, and scales on max health. Right. All the ladies want some healthy clothes. So we're gonna get, and it's funny, like, do you tune her slowly because of her? I don't really know. I am a noob a lot when it comes to this game, so I'm just learning my way. Let's see what we can put her on here. So there, I'm gonna just try her slow. I'm not quite sure if that's the right call. Anybody can certainly call me out and let me know. But okay, so we don't have to run that test yet. So there we go. It ran and did the update, processed 5 images, did 120 characters, 2420. Yep. If we look at our inputs, that is exactly right. It did detect some duplicates, so that's great. Didn't have any low confidence rows, so it wants to verify Tamarin. It's given us a summary of how many it updated and, you know, what the CRUD results were, right, if you're not familiar with that from our previous episode. So here it's actually giving us, like, these are the changes that we're going to make, right? And you can take this data and do with it what you will, and build your own verification process. I'm not particularly interested in that. While I think it's great that I have that to reference, what I prefer is, okay, that looks good, like a good start, but before approving, please provide all 120 rows in a table with the static values you will populate on master. We can leave the calculated columns alone for now. So we'll do that after the fact, and just make it less complex. Well, just to get better results, right? So let's do that, because that is going to allow me to verify what I want to verify a lot easier than the summary that it gave me. So, this is interesting. It looks like it's going to actually rerun the skill, which is kind of silly. Let's see what it does. Yeah, it's going through the whole process. So, screw that. This is where you stop it from losing its mind, and you say, I'm not asking you to reanalyze or use the skill. I'm simply saying, please repackage the output preview in a different format. You should already have the data set saved or daved, We could turn that into a verb, I suppose. Be right back, folks. Well, I said I'd be right back, and I am right back. So what did it say while I was gone? I'm wondering if it, it looks like it's trying to rerun it again. I guess it didn't save its data set in the interim. Sometimes, they be dumb. That's quite alright. I be dumb plenty of times. But, okay, so she's still not dressed all the way. Oi, no, somebody took some clothes from you. Let's see now. The hell? That's like the exact same piece. That's hilarious. Okay, burn through some of these. So if you're just catching up with us, we are on part 2 of our effort to update our roster using what's called a skill, which is a particular action that you can create within ChatGPT. It's currently utilizing our skill to analyze a set of screenshots that we provided it, and we're just kicking ass. But it's analyzing those screenshots to update my current roster in our project's metadata. By the way, I plan on, if anyone is interested, I plan on setting up a Discord server where I'll be able to post this file and these source files and save off the prompts that I use, if anyone is interested in, having like a starter pack. Let's see if we can get another W. We likes the W's. So, yep, I'll take it. And this one. Man, just cleaning house, y'all. But I mean, that's just a silly group, right? Let's look at the Power Rangers here. I mean, I've been having fun farming for Estelle, so I got her at double S. I'm almost at triple S. And then old Setska doing her thing. Salome, Horseheady Bitty. But let's go see what it came up with. Yeah, absolutely. I repackaged. Okay, good. Thank you, please, and thank you. So here's what I do to verify, right? This is honestly best done on a computer with 2 monitors, because I'll have the game up on one monitor and the this grid up on another monitor, and I'll just go from left to right just to look. That's if I want to verify fully, right? I honestly am not that concerned. Like, I've done this enough that I trust the results, that I'm going to spot check. I'm going to make sure that the boundaries are correct. Anytime you're testing data or information processing systems, one of the things you want to make absolute certain to test are your beginning and ending boundaries of any data set. So since we expect each data to have been chunked in units of 24 characters, we're going to make sure that in the order that this grid is giving us, the first character is the first character of that first panel, and the 24th character is the 24th character of that first panel, right? And that the stars match. Further, any characters that have the bleeding edge star potential issue that we've identified, we'll verify those. Everything else, we're just going to spot check a few, right? I can tell you, like I said, having done this a number of times, it is pretty darn accurate. So let's just do a little bit of that real quick so I can show you what I'm talking about. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the final verification tonight, because I mean, and again, let me actually correct one thing. You don't actually need a computer with multiple monitors, right? Just having multiple devices is all you need. Like right now, I'm streaming from my iPad, and I have my Twitch admin console up on my iPhone. So I could easily bring up this, leave up this grid view on my iPad and open up the client on my phone and follow along as I verify on my phone within the game client that those boundaries are correct, that the bleeding edge ones are hit right. And it's a real, I mean, you're talking about like 5, maybe 10 minutes of effort worth of work, right? So that gives you a warm and fuzzy. And let's just assume that this is all right. Like I said, I'm going to actually do the verification on my own time, but let's pretend that I did it. If you need help figuring out any kind of verification methods, you're certainly welcome to drop me a line at any time, and I will go over your process with you and look for any ways that you could potentially improve and find some, efficiencies and gain. Now notice on the left side over here, this number, image, panel, column, that's very useful for our verification, right? Because what did we say? We expect 24 images within a panel's verification set. Well, look, 1 through 24, that tells us that, and we know from looking earlier, Acades and Cartusia are the boundaries of our first panel. And lo and behold, 1 through 24 are Acades and Cartusia. So then, look, the numbers start over in that third column. Makes it real easy to verify your data set, okay? So don't be scared of doing a little bit of leg work. This is just how you have to keep your data up to date. I mean, I'm working on ways to actually do this like non-interactively. That will be, things that will show in future series, but this is a pretty low effort way to get your data up to date. The only thing that's left is, all we're going to say is, okay, approved and verified. Please update master. Well, let's be specific. Update the characters sheet in master and provide a download link to the updated file. So remember, whenever we do this, once we finish this process, the benefit is we can go ask it questions like, hey, this new summon that's out, let's go look at her, right? And we can even do this as an exercise. But if you go look at Abigail, right? I ask myself, do I need Abigail? I don't know. I mean, what type of player am I, right? Am I a brand new era, just learning the game, don't really understand roles of characters, not saying anything's wrong with any of that, right? I'm saying just someone that is learning the game. This is a perfect tool to help them make a educated decision, right? So once we're done with updating our data, we're going to ask of it if we should consider pulling for Abigail. So let's go take a look. It's doing its thing. So did I have any? Yeah, got more flags to do. Let's rack up some more points. As I always say, make sure you're doing your daily arena runs. Again, even if you lose, you still get plenty of points. You can literally yield every match if that's how you want to play, and you'll get plenty of points. And there we go, we lost one. That's quite all right. But that was a good run, huh? What did we do? I mean, it was at least like 6 in a row. And those radiance points add up too. That's 12 radiance shards per win or loss, right? Okay. That finishes those up. Let's go see where we're at here. Also, you have this wonderfully free track. I mean, look at these pieces that you get to unlock. I mean, holy shit, that is a gorgeous piece that I'm going to be hitting before too long. Same thing. Again, you can literally lose your way all the way to the end of this track right here. Don't have to win a single match. Let's get some points. Get them points. I was going to go look and see what sets I could consider. What is it? Arena, yeah, I was on the right one. So, like, if you've never been to this screen, you know, these are lots of different sets of gear, and they're discounted with the larger discounts being on the left and the lower discounts being on the right, and then the newest set not being discounted. So if you look at the newest set, you can see it costs $1,800 per piece, but I mean, look at what you're getting, right? So again, you can lose your way all the way up to every single one of these pieces. I think I'm going to start focusing on those because I did clear out the counter set. Just was just being silly with Estelle. Yes, I know, like, she gets auto crit if she hits, and those pieces, you know, all but 2 of them have crit chance on them, so you waste a line, but let me tell you, it is pretty damn hilarious to have her on a counter set. So, just cashing in. Let's go check on. Alright, he updated. So here's the deal. Like I said, I've said often, I don't do some of the file manipulation stuff live on stream because I have to share personal information that I don't want to. So until I improve that process of my stream, these types of file updates are just done off stream. But in one of my early videos, I go over how to do it. All I'm gonna do is, like, I mean, we can see that the update happened, right? If you go look at characters, this is the update, right? So I'm curious about something. Yeah, so actually, what we're running into is a particular bug with the stupid. I really need to figure out a better process for this because I keep depending on this iOS file spreadsheet dialog preview thing, and it's just dumb, right? It like distorts data, it changes formatting, it crashes, but I can't get to the Excel file on this device. So let me just call it this way. We're just going to say it's right. Like, you could see the updates at the bottom. I'm going to assume that the full version would be in the right order, but there you go. Okay, so no, that wasn't a formatting issue. We had seen that happen earlier, but there was a misunderstanding. And we never actually explicitly said this, but I sure thought it was implied. So you performed well, I guess maybe what happened, that's probably what happened. Okay, it just didn't sort it, duh, right? It added the newer characters at the bottom of the spreadsheet because Adley was the first character whenever I initially seeded the data. Well, Acades is a character I got after I seeded the data. So now technically she is at the top of the list alphabetically, but that list hasn't been sorted. So I'm just going to assume the data is right. I just convinced myself because we did see the new records, right? And let's just go give ourselves a warm fuzzy because, we don't want to pretend like this is working or some shit, right? So 26 new character rows added, updated some, and it says where it added the characters, right? It left the eval columns blank like we asked. So let's see if we can get this crappy dialogue to tell us what we're looking for. So this is the original list of characters, right? And right off the bat, you can see like our 1 through 24 having Cartusia at the bottom. You can see Cartusia at the bottom is already way less than 24 characters. So that, tells you that something was different right off the bat. But all that is just the limited amount of characters I had whenever I seeded this data. So once we sort it, it'll look a lot better. But if we scroll through that original list, and it said, hey, I updated data, right? I updated some of these rows. And like if you look at Cartusia, he's 5 stars and 4-star awakened. So at the time that I uploaded or seeded the data, he was 0 awakened, right? And or no, level 5. Okay, so my bad. I thought he was awakened. I was looking at the wrong columns. Let's find one that we did awaken. ASF I did. Yeah, so okay. ASF is a good example, right? It even called her +3 skill investment. It shows the full awakening and it shows the full stars. We saw that in our example earlier that she was 6 out of 6. So we know that it updated the rows that already existed, and then down at the bottom it added these other rows, right? So it said all total, the total was 120 rows. We're going to accept it at face value because again, I'd have to get into Excel to really get that type of evaluation, but since what it stated was in line with what we expected, then we can be okay with accepting that. But once again, I am going to fully verify this data after the video, and if there's any reason that I need to come back and say, hey, it screwed up on this particular aspect and here's what I did to fix it, I will post a part 3 with that update. So let's say that it's right, okay? We did some decent verification. I am pretty comfortable in saying that it's right, okay? Because of the file transfer process I have to go through, like I said, instead of saying, hey, use master, we're going to say, hey, use this new version that you've given me as a download as the source of truth and answer this question. Later on tonight, once I verify the data and I get it to merge it with the current version of master, then future calls will be able to just say, hey, reference master. But we're going to say, okay, using the new file you created as the source of truth, please let me know if I should consider pulling for the character that has a banner named Abigail. I can't type. Abigail. And technically I don't have to do what I'm about to do, but just to make it a little bit easier on it, to find what it needs to find. we're just going to say it's Abigail, a fire warrior. Or firefighter. Is it, are they called fighters? Is it a firefighter? That would be hilarious. Hero, warrior. Damn it, I want to call her a firefighter. But anyway, a a 5-star fire element warrior. So I'm just like doing this as an example of some of the type of value you can get out of setting up this system, right? Like this is why we do the work that we've been doing. And to be clear, the effort we've gone through today, right? Like that's not something that you have to do all the time. This is all leg work. It's all learning. It's all trial and error, right? Once this baby gets to its fully operational battle system level, it's going to be pretty effing dope, right? And we're just working our way up there slowly because I want to give everyone time to learn. It takes me time to make these videos. It takes time to live life, and I hope you all are living life in the bestest of manner and just having wonderful times out there. And I'm being super cheesy, I know, but I'm having a great week. Vacation time is treating me well. I'm enjoying getting some of these videos knocked out. I'd love to hear any feedback. I hope, Okay, so here we go. I would not hard pull for Abigail for this account right now. My recommendation is consider only if you can comfortably, and I cannot spare the bookmarks because I have been pulling for Estelle Melly Belly. So Abigail's not currently on, but the account already has a lot of Fire Warrior DPS adjacent coverage. So that's the type of, information that it gets to answer for you. Like that's the type of perspective it takes when it's answering your questions, right? Think about what that's saying, right? That's not you going to Google or whatever search engine and saying, hey, or saying, is Abigail worth summoning, right? Or looking her up on a tier list, right? It's taking your account's actual needs into consideration and then deciding whether or not you should consider it. So again, that's just some of the strengths that you get and the benefits that you get out of this process. So that's how you do that. That is how you get your updated roster. And I'm happy to have gone through the process. It worked, fairly well. We had a few hiccups. We had some learnings that we went through. Ultimately, we got about a half a level if we're considering leveling up our process. I'm going to end the stream with a pull for good old Estelle on the march to Triple S. I don't care about burning bookmarks. This is just a fun, silly alt account. We do what we want to. Do as I say, not as I do. It's gold. It's gold. What's it gonna be? Okay, well, it's an artifact. New power. Okay, nice. What's next? It's gold. It's not a knight, though, damn it. Alright, furious. I'm furious. And it's not gold, and... Okay. It wasn't Estelle, but that's okay. Gets us a little closer. We are going to get that SSS. And it's not even like Estelle is like the best character, right? I just happened to get lucky with some pulls on her, and I was like, you know what? I'm this far along already. I'm just going to push for it and get that triple S. So, anyway, this has been Jason with E7 Forge signing off. I hope you learned something. I hope this process is serving you well. I'd love to hear any feedback. Peace out. Keep being real to each other. Well, I'm trying to figure out how to stop my damn stream. Come on now. What if I do this?